Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today is Linda Pink Schacht. She's the founding director of the Civic Leadership Center over Institute over at Lipscomb University. Linda, we were talking a lot earlier about who can stop Donald Trump if somebody's trying to stop him on the Republican side. Governor Bill Haslam has now endorsed Marco Rubio, the senator from Florida, about that. Also, former Senate Majority Leader and Senator from Tennessee, Bill Frist, has also endorsed him, even though Frist is running as a Bush delegate. Of course, all this late push is because Jeb Bush basically finally gave up the ghost and left. What happened to Jeb Bush? Everybody thought he was going to be the candidate, but he never really clicked at all from the beginning.
Well, you know, there's a kind of a mantra in politics that to be a good president, you have to first be a good candidate. And I think people were surprised that Jeb Bush was not a good candidate.
But he was a two-time elected governor of Florida. You think it's almost like he forgot how to be a candidate.
Well, I think, too, if you remember when he was standing right next to Donald Trump on that debate stage early on, the idea that seemed to be coming from him was, I can't believe I'm losing to this guy. And I think that
I think Trump almost said out loud.
He may have. But I think with Jeb Bush, he already had the baggage of, and I think it was the baggage of the Bush brand. On that, I think it was very gracious of President George H.W. Bush and the First Lady to be at the last Republican debate, even after he got out. But I think he got out because he had spent more than any other candidate, and if you broke it down, that's right, if you broke it down, he was paying $1,000 or $2,000 a state for a vote. So it wasn't in the cards.
Now, these late endorsements here in Tennessee for Rubio obviously will help, but the last polling I saw in Tennessee, and it's a little old, it's from early this month, he had him at 5% of the vote. He's going to have to go to at least 20% to get any delegates. So are these late endorsements maybe too little too late?
I think the endorsements may help state by state, but I think what they're hoping they will also do, Nikki Haley in South Carolina, Governor Haslam, and Majority Leader Frist here, is that they will begin to build a momentum among the party elite that there is a way to get behind one candidate. I frankly don't see...
And push out some of the other candidates like Kasich.
That's right. That's right. But I frankly don't see how Rubio gets there, because you can't keep giving victory speeches after you've gotten the second and the third place win and position yourself as the alternative.
Now, beginning March 15th, we go into winner take all primaries within the Republicans, which is different from the Democrats. They don't do that. But we got some large states, including Florida, Illinois, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio. Is it going to be too late by then? If Trump almost sweeps the field on Super Tuesday, there's several more before 15th, but it's going to get really harder and harder and maybe almost impossible.
Well, that's right. But one reason I think that you can say the Republican establishment, and the Republicans don't have super delegates, but they do have the RNC that can sway votes at the convention. One reason that they are holding, I am told, you know, some pretty serious meetings about what can we do at the convention is that they've pretty much given up on stopping Trump in some of these, in his pace to the nomination. Those states on the 15th, two to watch. Obviously, Ohio. If Kasich can beat Trump in Ohio very important in the general election. And if Rubio loses his own state to Trump on that day, then that is, I think, a death knell for him. He has to worry about his future after this election.
Now, we haven't talked much at all about the Democratic race. There's a very interesting one going there. Hillary Clinton so far seems to be slowly pulling away, particularly because she's getting a lot of super delegate support. But Bernie Sanders is hanging in there. Nobody thought he had a chance at all. He maybe doesn't have a great chance in Tennessee, but how is he doing it? How's he staying in this race? Is it that enthusiasm, particularly from young people?
Well, it's tapping into some of the young people who were so supportive of Obama, but it's also tapping into that distrust of the establishment and that belief that the Democratic Party, just like the Republican Party, has gotten too close to Wall Street and is protecting moneyed interests.
Now, you see young people every day in your work at Lipscomb. Do you see that among your student population out there? Do you see the enthusiasm and for that matter, the anger going on in both parties, but particularly that's we're talking about the Democrats on the Democratic side.
Well, I've been on 3 college campuses in the last 3 weeks, and 2 in the Northeast and Lipscomb here. And I can tell you that what millennials care about is the fact that they're going to have high student debt. They don't know what the job market's going to look like. They see a very uncertain future. And for both Sanders and Trump, I think they're offering, albeit without any support, a certainty that things can be better.
Hillary Clinton's coming back here on this weekend. She'll be here on Sunday to have a rally. It looks like she's in pretty good shape here. Sanders has not come here. He does have staff. He does have campaign offices in both Nashville and Memphis. But is she coming back here because she senses she can do well here and she needs to, or does she need to push up her numbers here?
No, I don't think she's coming back because she is worried about or needs to push up her numbers here. I think she's coming back to many of these states because she is picking up endorsements and support from people who can be very helpful in the general election.
March 1st, Super Tuesday for her becomes the separation point where she's going to get such a bump, particularly out of the southern states
right.
and the African-American vote and all those states, that it makes Sanders' job even more and more difficult, and it sort of becomes like a Don Quixote kind of situation at that point.
Well, I think what he's done, maybe Don Quixote, but perhaps something a little different, and that is he has moved Hillary Clinton to the left. He has
Too much?
given, well, we'll see in the general election, right? I think she is very good at explaining a very moderate point of view that addresses the issues that Sanders is
Bernie
addressing.
Sanders is not going to be the Ted Kennedy of 1980. He's not going to.
Well, we hope not.
He's not going to hold back an endorsement of whoever is the ultimate nominee, because he wouldn't even come on stage and hold up President Carter's hand.
Please don't remind me of that painful memory. That's right. In 1980, Ted Kennedy refused to do the victory salute with President Carter. I don't think we'll see that this year. I think the Democratic Party knows that it has to unify, and Hillary Clinton will know what she has to do to unify the party to win in November.
Linda Pink-Schacht's our guest on Inside Politics. She's from Lipscomb University. Back to continue our conversation about presidential politics after this break.